The Engineer's Mistress, also called The Engineer's Lover, is a complex painting that took 4 years to complete. It was finished in 1921 and it's a pivotal work in Carrà's career. Usually considered the last episode of Carrà's metaphysical period between 1917 and 1921 after his futurist phase. The Drunken Gentleman, of which we have here exposed the drawing, painted in 1917, is considered the precursor. His approach to metaphysics started in 1917 when he met Giorgio de Chirico and Filippo de Pisis in Ferrara. This painting is the final point of his reflection around this revolutionary style, which was started by de Chirico in 1909, while he was in Munich. De Chirico moved from there to Paris and ultimately arrived in Ferrara in 1915. At the beginning, it was difficult for Carrà, 7 years older than de Chirico, to find his personal path. Critics panned his work as too similar to de Chirico's. So, also for this reason, Carrà worked hard to find a personal style. Before painting The Engineer's Mistress, he tried to humanize the mannequins, change the palette, using colors that recall the Florentine Renaissance frescoes. But here, in this beautiful painting that I've chosen to speak about, he did something really new and personal, right before changing his style again. About the iconography, we have to say that many art historians had offered their own interpretation, but only recently have we learned about the mysterious iconography. The meaning was explained by Flavio Fergonzi. He interviewed Massimo Carrà, the son of the painter, and discovered the real allegorical significance. On the right, we can see the representation of the artist as engineer-builder with his tools, the set square and the compass. Juxtaposed, there is a sculpture, very different from the De Chirico's ancient Greek sculptures. This one instead is inspired by ancient Indian miniatures that were published in a book by a magazine Valori Plastici in 1920. And there are even references to 2 paintings by Piero della Francesca, the portrait of Battista Sforza and the Pala di Brera. But also represented the painter's wife, Ines Minoia, who in 1921 was pregnant with their first and only child, Massimo. The engineer for de Chirico was the symbol of the role of the artist in society, that is, measure the reality and explain the mystery to the viewer. On the other hand, the sculpture is allegorical in that the closed eyes show that she is dreaming and needs the guidance of the engineer-builder artist. Indeed, this atmosphere of dreams was typical in metaphysics. The painting had almost immediately a good fortune in very important Italian private collections. The first buyer was the artist Mazzuccotelli, then very soon the painting was sold from the Milanese art gallery Il Milione to Feroldi, an important collector from Brescia, and then he sold to Gianni Mattioli, the father of the president of the Center for Italian Modern Art. Gianni Mattioli was clearly very attached to this painting because it was featured on the flyer for his collection, which was open to the public in 1950 for some days per month. After him, a lot of other Milanese collectors did the same, with a civic duty typical in Milan after the war, and that same civic duty that inspires the core mission here at the Center for Italian Modern Art in New York. The painting's critical success and the resulting fortune between collectors during the 20s and the 30s is due to its new very Italian metaphysical language, more classical and based on a plastic construction, so different from the more international eclectic reference of de Chirico.